Thank you for joining us. You are with the Post Route with your host, W. Earl Kitchings.
Good evening and welcome to the Post Route, the show where we dive deep into conversations with Black quarterbacks, both past and present. I'm your host, W. Earl Kitchings. This show is proudly brought to you by Quarter Phi Back, the preeminent fraternity for Black quarterbacks and home of the prestigious BIP Memorial Trophy, the only award that honors both the top HBCU quarterback and the top Black quarterback from high schools around the country. We are so thrilled to have you with us tonight. And if you enjoy our content and you enjoy our show, all we ask you to do is support what we're doing here on the Post Route. You can do that easily by hitting the like button, subscribe to the channel, or tap the notification bell so that you never miss out on an episode. Join us live every Monday night here at 7 p.m. for more phenomenal conversations here on the Post Route. Well, we've got an outstanding guest tonight, and we're pleased to have this young man join us from the college ranks to be our guest. We are so excited to bring him on. But before we do that, of course, we always like to bring you up to date with what's going on in our watch list and our quarterback of the week as we get ready for another week of really the final week of high school football. Bowl games are starting to happen. Some states are just finishing up their championships. I know a couple of guys on our watch list, they still got games to play. So we're going to start out with our, our HBCU top 10 of those guys who are finishing out the season here on the Post Route on our national watch list, and we're going to give you those top 10 names. At number 10, Mark Wright, Virginia Union, 2,263 yards, 21 touchdowns. His season is done. Everybody in the CIAA season is done. Everybody in the SWAC is done. Everybody in the MEAC is done. Everybody in the SIAC is done for HBCU. So everything is pretty much done for these guys, but this is our final watch list as we give it to you. At number 9, Darius Ocean, Johnson C. Smith, 2,301 yards, 16 touchdowns. Number 8, Romello Williams, Virginia State CIAA, 2,322 touchdowns, 21 touchdowns, excuse me. Number 7, Daniel Richardson out of Florida A&M in the SWAC, 2,469 yards, 21 touchdowns. At number 6, Eric Phoenix from South Carolina State, just coming off that participation in the 2024 Celebration Bowl, finishes his season with 2,603 yards and 20 touchdowns, becoming just only the second Bulldog quarterback in the history of South Carolina State to ever throw for over 2,000 yards in one season. Eric Phoenix did that this past year. At number 5, Mekhi Higgins, the redshirt junior out of Arkansas Pine Bluff, finished with 2,541 yards, 16 touchdowns. At number 4, Isaiah Knowles, Albany State, 2,555 yards, 32 touchdowns. At number 3, Mr. Torrance Bardell out there at Langston University in Langston, Oklahoma, 2,735 yards, 26 touchdowns. At number 2, another outstanding quarterback who finishes up his career having played in the FCS playoffs, finishing at Tennessee State, Draylon Ellis, 3,029 yards and 24 touchdowns. And the guy who has been on the top of our list for about 6 weeks, Mr. David Wright, the junior out of Clark Atlanta University, SIAC, 3,271 yards and 31 touchdowns to complete his season. And now for our high school guys, we've got a great group of guys coming in for that list as they prepare for their final games. And our top 10, we're going to do our top 10 because everyone else's season is pretty much finished. But at number 10, Julian Lewis, the phenom out of Carrollton High School in Carrollton, Georgia, 3,465 yards. Let me just mention one other guy who is right on the precipice of joining the top 10, John Johnson. Finishing out the year with 3,393 yards and 34 touchdowns at Edna Carr High School, led his team to the state championship. So we just wanted to give him his kudos. At number 9 on the list, Chris Jimerson, North Crowley High in Fort Worth, Texas. He's got one more game to go, playing for the state championship out there in Texas. At his classification, I believe he's at 6A. He's got 3,470 yards, 54 touchdowns. At number 8, Bryce Baker, finishing his career at East Forsyth, Kernersville, North Carolina, 3,523 yards, 40 touchdowns. At number 7, Antoine Hill, out of Houston County, Warner Robins, Georgia, 3,626 yards, 44 touchdowns. At number 6, Jackson Bird, out of Cleveland High in Clayton, North Carolina, 3,657 yards and 39 touchdowns. At number 5, Cardia Collier, Alvarado High, Alvarado, Texas, 3,801 yards, 43 touchdowns. At number 4, Keelan Russell, Duncanville High. They had a tough game this past week, losing to North Crowley by the score of 36-34. So you got a chance to see Keelan Russell against Chris Jimerson in the semifinals out there. Keelan will finish his career with 3,874 yards and 53 touchdowns. At number 3, Jalen Hewitt, Havelock High, Havelock, North Carolina, 4,176 yards, 40 touchdowns. Still at number 2, Peyton Houston, the sophomore sensation from Evangel Christian Academy in Shreveport, Louisiana. Finishes his career in 12 games with 4,480 yards, 38 touchdowns. As you know, as we've been saying, he threw for over 800 yards in one game this season. And then finishing out his senior year with a record of 13-2 from Zephath Academy in Jacksonville, Florida. Jordan Durham, the senior, 6,047 yards, 62 touchdowns. Those are our top 10 on our watch list. Next week, what we're going to do is we're going to bring you our candidates for both the Interscholastic Bip Memorial Trophy and the HBCU Bip Memorial Trophy. We're going to give you the finalists of who will be on the ballot as we look to acknowledge our 2024 winners of the Bip Memorial Trophy. And then we want to give kudos to our quarterback of the week. That goes to Mr. Jacobian Morgan. He led his team to the national championship for black colleges this past week, winning the Celebration Bowl with a 28-7 win over South Carolina State. He had 2 touchdowns and 233 yards. He's a junior, and we want to just give him his kudos for being selected our quarterback of the week. Now, getting to our guest for tonight. This young man has had a phenomenal football career. He is the 2024 HBCU Plus National Player of the Year. He has also earned all SIAC honors when he played at Benedict College in 2021 and 2022. He finished his career at Benedict with a record of 19-9, 4,400 yards and 32 touchdowns. Add that to his 9-3 record at South Carolina State this past year, where he threw for 2,600, 3 yards and 20 touchdowns. It puts him right at about 7,000 yards passing, 53 touchdowns. From Windsor Forest High School, we'd like to welcome our guest tonight, Mr. Eric Phoenix. Unfortunately, we will not have Eric on with his video part. We won't be able to see him, but we're going to post his photograph while we're talking to him so that you'll know who this young man is. And good evening, Eric. Welcome to the Post Route.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, we are so excited to have you and welcome you to our show tonight because you have done quite a bit of work in the past 4 years during your college career. And it goes without saying that you're a champion in several different ways. You're a champion for being the SIAC champion while at Benedict. And then you come to South Carolina State, man, and put those Bulldogs back on the map, turning that corner for Coach Chennis Berry and the Bulldogs this past year, because there was some skepticism, I will say, beginning the year, but you guys got that thing on the right track, man, and ended up going to the Celebration Bowl to compete for the national championship. What kind of season was it for you this past year, having left Benedict by way of Murray State to end up in Orangeburg this past year to play at South Carolina State in the MEAC? What kind of experience was that for you this past year?
And it's been a journey. It's been a ride. And I'm very grateful. I want to thank God. You know, God makes no mistakes, man. So everything had to happen for a reason for this to happen. Truly grateful for my teammates. I met a lot of great people here in Orangeburg. My teammates are amazing. We built bonds and brotherhood. And I'm really glad I joined this team. The fan base here is amazing. I love these fans. They're very loyal. They always travel. They always make sure that the Bulldog, Oliver C. Dawson Stadium is packed. And I really appreciate that.
Well, Eric, transferring from Benedict over there in Columbia, just down the road to Orangeburg, man. Had you ever gone to any South Carolina State games prior to you getting to South Carolina State?
I actually did. So out of high school, I
Okay,
went to I went to Georgia Southern versus South Carolina State. Those at Georgia Southern. So
okay,
did
okay.
see South Carolina State play before
All
prior
right.
to prior to coming here.
Well, you gave some great kudos to those faithful Bulldog fans, man. Those guys are so much in love with that South Carolina State and those Bulldogs, man. And I guess, like they say, once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog. So I'm sure you have written your name in the annals of South Carolina State football, um, and getting a chance to play at that level, which had to be a great thing. I know I've kind of marked up some guys who have had some outstanding careers at South Carolina State. Like I said, you became the second quarterback at South Carolina State to ever throw for over 2,000 yards. I'm going to ask you, do you know why that probably is the case, why that happened at South Carolina State?
Yeah, I think they had a rich history of running the football. Like,
Well, you know your Bulldog football.
Mhm.
That's what South Carolina State football was predicated on: run, run, run. I hope you got a chance to meet Coach. Um, what's the coach name? Oh man, it slips in my mind right now. But
Talking about
he
Buddy
is
Pugh,
no, not Buddy Pugh, the coach before him,
Willie Jeffries.
Willie Jeffries. Yes, thank you for helping me out with that. Willie Jeffries is one of the finest gentlemen coaches that I've ever met.
Yes, sir.
He said something one time, Eric, that was so profound that it gave you an idea of what South Carolina State football was all about. When he was coaching South Carolina State, he made the comment and says he didn't even pass on the interstate. That's how much running he did at South Carolina State. And I'm like, that says it all. If the coach said he don't pass on the interstate, he's running that football. But it seems like Coach Berry has a different idea of how to play this game, and I think what you did at Benedict transcended over into what you did at South Carolina State. So you guys like to throw the football a lot.
Yes, sir. I say we're a balanced offense. We play to our strengths, and we have very explosive receivers, and we had a good line that protects very well. So
Yeah.
we just were able to get the ball to my playmakers and just spread the ball around while also having a good running attack. So we're just a balanced offense.
And how much did Eric Phoenix like to run the ball?
Eric Phoenix ran the ball when he needed to.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, hopefully that wasn't too much for you during the past season, man, that you could hand that thing off and find your receivers. I know you had a crop of talented receivers. How many of those guys came with you from Benedict?
So I'm trying to think. So K and Ha and Nick Sewell, they transferred from Benedict, but I only play with Nick Sewell. I didn't play with K and Ha.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
who
Was
else?
it easy? Was it easy to make the transition to get into the mix of being a South Carolina State Bulldog and mixing in with the guys who are now your new football family?
Yes, sir. So I just came in and just tried to win them over. Just got in, got to work, let them know that I'm here to work hard. I'm coming to win, and we just got along very well. We had the same mindset, which was good as we went to a Celebration Bowl,
Right.
and we worked very hard throughout the summer, built great relationships, went to the field almost every day, got the timing down, got chemistry, and that's why we had a successful season.
Do you feel that the competition coming into the 2024 season was already in place, or was it pretty much the mindset that you were going to probably, I'm not going to say that you were, but you were probably going to be the starter, but you still were going to have to compete?
I always compete. You never know who's ready to play. Everybody on the roster wants to play. Nobody wants to be a backup. So you got to be ready to work hard and come in. And like nothing in my life was given to me, so I don't expect nothing to be given to me. I earn and work for everything I have got. So I just came in, got with my head down, and was ready to work.
Okay. In coming to the MEAC, would you, in comparatively speaking, how would you rate the MEAC compared to the SIAC brand of football and competitiveness, talent? How would you grade that?
Well, every school has talent. I'll say the biggest difference is the trenches. You hear that a
Okay.
lot, which is the O line, D line, which is size and just the physicality part. But skill position wise, everybody's fast, everybody's kind of strong, agile. It's just really just the separation is your knowledge of the game. How well do you understand football? How well can you process it? How well can you line up fast, execute the play? Execution is big because you can be the biggest, strongest, fastest, but if you can't execute a play, then you're useless. So just execution and just your mental, what separates you.
Eric, how does a guy as a quarterback, what are some of the things that helps that quarterback to be better mentally? What are some of the things that you've been told? What are some of the things that you do to mentally always be in a position to be the most effective quarterback you can be in game situations?
Well, I say just watch as much film as you can. And I watch a lot of football. Like, I watch like college, NFL, even high school sometimes. So like you can always learn from somebody. Like my dad always say, it's better to learn from other people's mistakes than your own mistakes. So
Okay. Okay.
I I try to learn from different people. Like, I'm a big college football fan, so I like to watch everybody, which is FCS, D2, FBS level. So I'll try to watch the highlights or the full games and see what I can learn, see what I can pick up after my game, and as well as my games, see what I did wrong, so I can do differently, and just
Okay.
adjust.
Well, of course, it's always an adjustment, and of course, there's always learning as you go. Um, During the course of a game, uh, when you come to the sideline, you get with your position coach. Uh, those adjustments that you make in those situations where either a series didn't go as you wanted it to, or the execution, as you say, does not happen. Um, how important is it for you to get with your guys and point out what we have to do in order to, make the next drive, the next set of downs important to keep us in a ball game?
And sometimes you just gotta like calm down and relax, take a deep breath, because
Okay.
every time it's not always like you. It's always it could be like we're not executing. Like we just gotta do our job. Everybody do their 111, and once we do that, then we will start rolling. So you just gotta look. It's not always just a bad throw or a misread. Just we just not executing. So I say the key is just to get everybody to calm down, relax, and just play ball. If everybody do their job, we'll have a successful play.
Okay. Now, at 6'3", you're a pretty big guy. You can look over a lot of the offensive and defensive line. Do you prefer taking the snap in the shotgun or from under center?
I like the shotgun. I can't lie.
Do,
Shotgun.
do you think most guys prefer that nowadays as opposed to being up under the center?
I believe so. Shotgun. It's like you get a head start from the line of scrimmage,
Yeah.
and just feel a little better if you want to
You
throw
know,
the ball.
I was looking at a game over the weekend. As a matter of fact, it was a game last night with Seattle,
Hmm.
and they were talking about how Geno Smith went from being in the shotgun to getting up under center. And the commentators pointed out that when you get up under the center, the defensive line has to play you differently than when you're in the shotgun because they have to respect what you might be able to do from either a running perspective or something else, as opposed to that guy on the edge. He can get way out and be uninhibited coming in. But when you're up under the center, man, you got to really be playing, heads up football. Do you think that's a true statement?
So I really don't have my like fair share of understood of snaps, so I really can't tell you my perspective.
Okay.
But I guess I can see that because you still can like go with the bootlegs and the quarterback sneak, but and I really can't answer that for you.
Okay, not a problem. Not a problem because, hey man, there's no bad answers here on the post route, man. We just talking. I've been watching football, as you can see by these gray hairs on my head. I probably haven't seen a lot of football in my day and time.
Yes, sir.
So, um, speaking of quarterbacks, uh, and I have had my picks of guys from the past, and even today, I definitely think Patrick Mahomes is one of the most phenomenal quarterbacks that I've ever seen based on what he does. Who are some of the guys you like?
So right now,
Yeah.
my favorite all time is Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
But like right now, I ain't like I start like Lamar, a little more than Aaron Rodgers right now. Man,
Is it because of him being able to be elusive, him being able to throw the football, a little bit of both?
like he's just amazing. That's
Okay.
how I can describe it. So I like Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. Okay. Some of the newer quarterbacks coming into the league, your Bryce Young, your Richardson with the Colts, Justin Fields. A lot of these young guys coming into the league right away, and I've seen some guys come in. Sometimes I think these teams put them in the heat of battle too soon. Um, as a young quarterback who is finishing up his collegiate career, what are your thoughts about guys being drafted and being ushered in to be starting quarterbacks only a few months after they've played college football?
I'll say it just depends on how well you process the game and how you can make good decisions and process the defense when you back there taking the snap. So like some people process quicker than others, so some people might need more time to learn from veterans and just learn the system. Some people can pick it up within a week, 2 weeks. So it
Yeah.
just so I feel like it just all depends on how you learn and how you play the game. So
Okay. Now, one of the things I know that these guys at the pro levels, and I'm sure the playbooks are a little bit more extensive at the pro level than they are at the college level. Share some insight, if you would, about being an astute learner of the game from learning that playbook, man. Because I don't know if the playbook is that big of a deal in high school, but I definitely know at the collegiate level, that playbook is like a Bible, and you got to learn that thing pretty well. Um, what are your thoughts about just immersing yourself in learning that playbook from back to front?
so like one of the biggest things I had to learn was not only do you not know you have to know what everybody's doing, you gotta know the why too.
Okay.
So like once you know the why, that's when the game really starts to slow down and you understand you like you're not like looking for people to be open. Oh hey, if they do this, then he's gonna be open. And I say the key to that like just constant film study, constant working with your coaches, working with your offensive coordinator and see why does he like this play? How does he want it to be ran? And
Hmm.
what is his thought process? Like why should this play work? Is the
Okay.
key to
Okay.
know. So that's the key to learning the playbook and playing at a high level within the offense.
Okay. Now, I know it's a thing where you got 4 to 5 receivers. Everybody likes to come back to the huddle and say, Eric, I'm open. Eric, I'm open. Eric, I'm open. Throw me the ball. Uh, how do you manage that, man, when everybody's wanting the ball and some guys are hot and some guys are not? How do you manage that when everybody's like, throw me the ball, man? I'm open. I'm always open.
It's tough, man. Everybody. A lot of people are always gonna feel like they open, which as they should. They work hard. They feel like they're very talented and can run great routes. I just try to tell them like when your opportunity comes, make the most out of it. So, like, I, I always try to find an open man. I don't really predetermine. And I tell my guys, I'm like, I'm human. I might miss you sometimes. I might not might not throw a good throw. Just help me out sometimes. Like, I still got you. Like, just work with me, man. So they understand, and everything works out.
Well, I'm sure that's what you advise them on because when everybody's saying they want to touch that rock, it makes it difficult. But uh, when you can when you can manage it as you just described it, I think that takes that pressure off of you and maybe lets them know, okay, man, okay, I'm gonna be patient and I'm gonna wait. Uh, but then when guys do come back to you and say, man, this guy over here, he really can't guard me. So let's exploit that, man. I mean, for me, it's like, man, you see a guy who's a weak defender, man. It's like, man, you start licking your chops when you got a guy who can just run by him. Um, you don't give that away when you see your guy wide, know a guy he can beat a guy. You don't just start smiling when you look over there on the side to see that matchup, do you?
No, no, sir. Try not to look. Like, even though I do look, I try to like look somewhere else. So it may seem like I'm not looking, but I turn my head and turn the opposite way. I try not to like stare at somebody, and then hike the ball because they'll know that, oh, he probably going this way. So
No secret signals that you give to your guys, a wink, a nod, just a little nod. I see you, I got you,
yeah,
you know.
I got my little signals.
I'm not going to ask you to divulge your secrets, but I was just wondering because I know uh, walking up to that line of scrimmage and when you look at the defense and you get just what you want, you look at your guy, he looks at you, and both of y'all nod, and it's like, okay, I'm coming. So you look him off, and then you're coming back to him, man, and it's a beautiful thing. So your favorite pass route? What's your favorite pass route? Is it a dig? Is it a seam route? Is it a streak down the sideline or something across the middle? What do you prefer to throw? What do you like? What do you have the most success at throwing, or what are you most comfortable knowing that you don't even have to think about it? I can make that all day long.
Yeah, I love throwing slants. I'm a slant thrower. Been like that my
Okay.
whole life. I like throwing digs.
Okay.
But my favorite route, I feel like the slot fade is the best route in football.
You think
If you,
so?
yeah, I know so because I tell my teammates all the time, if you run this route the correct way, they can't guard it no matter what.
The correct way.
Yeah, because
Gotta be.
like it's precise. You can't run it too deep. You can't run it too narrow. You can't run it too wide. It gotta be like precision. So once you run like that, you can't guard it.
And Eric, how much time would you say in practice you and maybe one or two of your receivers would have to spend in order to perfect that on a regular basis? How much time in after practice, not during practice, but after practice?
That's a lot. I just go to the field every day in the summer. That's how we used to end the day. I tell them slot fade time. They'll line up and they'll run some slot fades. We'll talk about tell them how I like it, how they like it, and we get on the same page.
Okay. Well, I'm very happy to hear that you of course you put in that extra work, so that's a good thing. Hey, stay with me, man. I'm gonna take this quick time out, and we're gonna come back and talk to you and chop it up a little bit more. Joining me tonight on the post route is the phenomenal quarterback from the South Carolina State Bulldogs, Mr. Eric Phoenix. Just led his team to the Celebration Bowl. They came up a little short, but all in all, he had a great season. He won the MEAC, the MEAC this past year, in his first and only year, I believe, that he'll be playing for South Carolina State. I'm not sure if he'll be coming back next year, but if he does, that'll be a uh, man. That'll be striking fear in the hearts of a lot of teams in the MEAC. But he's our guest tonight. We're going to take this quick break and come back to Eric after we finish talking about just a few things that we got going on. So as always, we like to let you know that if you are interested in getting a copy of the book that got all of this started, all we can do is ask you to go to our website at quarter5back.com. Click on the icon for the book, Forgotten QBs. Please get you a copy of this book. It's a phenomenal read. It's filled with a lot of information, uh, bios, statistics, some articles that would be of some benefit. We tried to put, or I tried to put everything I could in this first book, knowing that if I have to do a second one, I'm going to have to do a little bit more. But The Forgotten QBs is the book, the little known history about black quarterbacks who play American college football. $35. Go to our website, quarter5back.com, and get you a copy of the book. And then we are starting to get into our merchandise. We've got 2 logo shirts we want to share with you. The first one is the logo shirt on the black. That's the full color logo shirt. We're now selling those for the holidays. That price is now at $25. You can get one of those. You can go online or you can just Zelle us that information if you want to get that particular shirt. It's got the Quarter5 Back logo with Q5B on each side of it. But the shirt that I'm wearing tonight, this is our new logo shirt. It is a sublimation t-shirt that has the full Quarter5 Back logo on the front, the jumping quarterback. That is our rendition of Oliver Bip Joyce. And then on the back, we've got Q5B, Quarter5 Back, and the jumping Oliver Joyce figurine on the back side. So this is new. This shirt is now going to be going during the holidays for $39.99. Once the holidays are over, it'll go back to being $44. $44, $44 on the jersey. But $39 is what we're selling it for right now for the holidays. Sublimation, very breathable, very wearable. As you can see, it's a very beautiful shirt. The colors just pop out at you. You got to get you one of these if you're interested in supporting who we are here at Quarter5 Back. And then, of course, to join us, become a teammate member of Quarter5 Back. $44 gets you your membership. You get a decal, you get your certificate, and you get our other Q5B t-shirt, which is the orange and black lettered logos on a heather gray t-shirt. Any one of these items you can go online and order. You can Zelle us at 904-994-2189. We are working to make sure that in addition to Zelle, you can just go to our website and order one of these shirts. Coming soon, we've got some more merchandise coming. We are constantly working on updating our merchandise. So right now we've got 4 different t-shirts, 3 cotton, 1 sublimation like I'm wearing. We are working to bring you a Quarter5 Back warm-up and some headgear, caps, bucket caps, so on and so forth. So join us, support us here at Quarter5 Back. Do what you can to help us out. Again, the shirt that I'm wearing is only $39 at this time. Or if you want to get the logo t-shirt, it's only $25. Thank you for your support, and we do appreciate you. We're going to get back to our guest now, Mr. Eric Phoenix, quarterback for South Carolina State University, those Bulldogs up there in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Eric, as your time has come wound down, do you have one more year you can play, or was this it for you?
Yeah, man, this was it, man. This was it.
You say that with such sadness, like, man, I wish I had one more year.
No, it's about that time.
Okay, all right. So, what are your plans for the future?
Yes, sir. So, I plan on playing in the NFL. You know, I have dreams, aspirations of playing in the NFL, having a successful career. Going to train, get ready for my bowl game. I've been invited to the HBCU Legacy Bowl.
Okay.
hopefully I get invited to some other ones, and hopefully I get invited to the NFL Combine. I'm just keep God first, keep praying and working hard, and see what happens. But all I need is opportunity, and that's the rest is gonna be history.
Okay, well, I believe in you, young man. I believe in you, and I hope opportunity comes your way. And I'm sure if an opportunity comes for you to play in the XFL or the CFL, you aren't
Hmm.
going to turn any of those down.
Yes, sir.
Well, I pray that everything works out for you, man, because there's nothing like fulfilling your dreams. And if that's your dream for right now, may God bless you with your dream. Uh, what's your major over there in South Carolina State?
I am in the rehabilitation counseling program.
Okay. Um, does that mean you would kind of go into the rehab, being some type of rehab, physical therapist? Should your dream of playing pro football does not work out, is that what you are looking at doing, going into the physical therapy market?
So at Benedict, I graduated with sports management degree. So I got my
Okay.
degree in sports management, and I plan on after I'm done playing football, I plan on being a coach or a trainer. So, and I can use what I learned at South Carolina State to help mentor kids and just be a be a good role model for them and help them in times of need. So that's,
Okay. Would you also consider becoming an athletic director?
I feel like that's a great question. I haven't thought about that fully, but I do some research about that and see if that really fits me though. But I love the game of football. And I love helping people, so I really have a passion for it, and I really see myself being a great coach. So
And I'm asking you that, Eric, because when you say sports management, that kind of goes hand in hand with sports administration, and opportunities are not always as abundant for black males to go into the sports administration level. Uh, uh, Even at the professional level, you don't get that many guys who get opportunities. So I thought I would ask just to see what other things had you looked into or would be considering, because it's a lot of opportunities, but then again, sometimes opportunities are slim and none. So I'm just curious.
okay,
So you talk about being a coach. You talk about mentoring kids, young men. Uh, uh, what are some of the things you like to mentor kids with? What kind of things do you like to share with them and talk with them about for them to be better individuals?
just stay true to who you are. You don't gotta do nothing special to be special. Um, you don't gotta follow a crowd. Like, you just gotta do what you're comfortable doing and do what you feel is right. And most importantly, just keep God first. With God, anything is possible. Because He's the head of my life. So I keep
Okay,
God first and what I do. And when you got God on your side, you can't lose.
right.
So
You definitely can't lose if he's on your side, man. Because like they say, if he's for you, who can be against you, right?
that's right.
So when you were growing up, did you have any one or two individuals who you looked up to as mentors that made a big difference in your life? Other than your parents, I know they are first and foremost, but beyond them, were there any other individuals who helped make a difference in your life?
Um, Not really. I say I have some coaches that been really inspirational to me.
Okay,
Some some older people I learned from, but
okay,
like my main mentor has been my dad.
all
He's
right.
he been my main quarterback coach since I started playing, and he's been very good to me, been a very good leader, and I learned a lot from him.
Well, kudos to your dad, man. It's nothing like having a good dad in your life to give you some direction. And of course, I know if he's anything like me, uh, tough love ain't a bad thing, son. Tough love ain't a bad thing. So It makes you strong and builds character. And those are the things that I believe fathers want their sons to have is character. So kudos to him. And also, of course, kudos to your mom. You got siblings, buddy? Did he drop off? Okay, I'm not sure if Eric dropped off or not. So we're gonna keep going forward. If you like to check in on Eric Phoenix on Instagram, you can reach him at underscore E7IC and Eric7Phoenix on Twitter. On X, I'm sorry, they don't do Twitter anymore. So on Instagram, it's at underscore E7IC, and at X is Eric7Phoenix. So if you're interested in reaching out to him to talk with him about anything, please do so.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am the only child. To answer your question, I have no siblings.
Stop.
Yes, sir.
You like me, man.
Oh, that's how you like it.
Let me tell you, it's overrated.
People don't understand.
I know they don't understand because they think you get the world just because it's you. It's like, yeah, man. But I used to tell them, Eric, look, when it's time for chores, one name get called.
That's
Eric,
right.
take out the garbage. Eric, cut the yard. Eric, wash the dishes.
Yep.
That's what I used to get. Earl, do this. Earl, do that. I didn't have no options, and but I didn't mind it because yeah, we do get some perks and benefits as long as you don't mess up and do something stupid or crazy to cause your parents to put you on lockdown or in timeout or whatever, or put you on restriction. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, when you say, "Hey, Dad, can I borrow the car?" Hey, Mom, can I borrow the car? The answer is always yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But when you're not doing what you're supposed to do, man, they'll do one of those things. Yeah, Eric. Remember last week when I told you to do such and such, son, and you didn't do it? So no, you can't borrow the car.
Mm-hmm. Oh, exactly what you mean.
But yeah, I've enjoyed it, man. I've got several friends who are in the same boat, but you make the best of it. It helps you to grow up in a different way. It helps you. It definitely helped me in determining who I would select and let be my close friends, my best friends, or just guys I know. So it was good. I don't have any complaints, none whatsoever. My dad was a high school football coach. I think my biggest thing was just kind of being the son of a football coach and kind of living in that shadow, man. That was harder than being the only child to me. Because because everybody knew him, I couldn't, cutting class, no. Doing something stupid at school, no. Doing anything that would cause him to have to deal with me when I got home, no. So for those who think it's easy and fun, okay, well, maybe for you, but and I'm a person who likes discipline and structure. I'll put it that way. So my two sons have dealt with my discipline and structure. I love them to death, but there is that place where you got to be firm and let them know that, hey, you got to do what's right and do what's good, son. Because those other ways are not good for you. So everything's worked out for them. So yeah, I'm good with it. I'm good with it, and it was joy. So embrace it and love it, man, because your parents love you with so much affection, man. So but you had your dad as your coach, man. I mean, he's teaching you things on and off the field in a lot of different ways. I'm sure he did a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So are you Eric Jr. or you're not Junior?
No, sir, I'm not junior.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that was other. I wasn't really a junior, but people thought I was because I went by Earl and my dad's first name was Earl, so they always thought I was a junior. But nonetheless, man. So, well, now that you are ready to embark upon your next items as far as if you became a coach, would you want to be a coach at the collegiate or the high school level?
Ooh, that's a good one. Now I started off saying I want to be high school, but
Okay.
then after playing college football, I haven't. I don't know. I'm leaning more towards the college side.
Okay.
But
And of course, you having played for a guy like Coach Berry, uh, I don't think he would have much of a problem either bringing you onto his staff or recommending you to someone else's staff for that entry level first time job as a coach, man. I think you're in a great position. I think in just seeing the kind of person he is, he seems to be that kind of person that will uh, do all he can for his players.
yes, sir. Uh, I believe you. I feel like that would be a good option for me. I decided to take that route. Take that route.
Hey, you got any funny Chinnis Berry stories you want to share with us since it's over with? Anything that's kind of humorous about him? Because I loved his pep talk on TV, man. That was pretty good. I love that.
Yeah, he good for a motivational speech.
But any kind of funny stories that you have about some things that you had to deal with him as a player when you were under him at either Benedict or South Carolina, something that you're like, man, man, coach got on me so bad for this, or man, we had such a great experience with that. I mean, just because I know a lot of times those things happen, man, and you don't want to talk about them, but then again, you look back and say, hey, it's no big deal. That was my coach.
Yeah. Trying to think. Um, like we had a lot of good moments. I say
Okay,
it's hard to
pick
try to
just
see.
one.
Yeah. Trying to see.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. What was the best game you've had in your college career? Of all the games you played, which game sticks out in your mind as, man, that game there, it was just, that was the game. I'll never forget that game. What game was that?
Ooh, that's a lot. But I say the one against North Carolina Central. I was on national TV. The two best teams in the MEAC.
Okay.
We was undefeated in the MEAC. They were undefeated in the MEAC. Um, it was at Oliver C. Dawson Stadium on a Thursday night,
Yep.
Halloween.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, that's when Rancho was born. Yeah, it was a great night. We got the win. Everybody was happy. I was happy. Just a great night.
Yeah, because North Carolina Central pretty much been the bully of the conference for the last couple of years, except last year when they snubbed their toe against Howard. But
Yeah.
they've been, pretty much the bully. And Davius Richard, man, he was that dude at North Carolina Central. But I watched the game that night when y'all played Central, man, and I really was surprised. I thought they were going to play a better brand of ball that night, man. But when I saw that game that night, I said, okay, the Bulldogs are back. I said that much. I'm like, okay, South Carolina State, they showing that old South Carolina State fire, man. So yeah, that said a lot to me. And you had a phenomenal game that night, man. And you guys, y'all took them to the woodshed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, um, I guess y'all celebrated quite a bit that night.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good day. Good night. We had cause it was a short week, so we had like a little bit longer. We had a longer weekend. So yeah.
Well, I'm sure you enjoyed that. Um, and I'm sure your parents were at that game, and I'm sure they celebrated with you that night.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's a great thing. Any rituals at South Carolina State that they do during football season that stick out to you? Any
Like the
unique
Bulldog walk.
things they do?
Yeah, I like the Bulldog walk. It's like
The
you walk.
Bulldog Walk.
Yeah, you walk down a little street full of the fans. You know, not every school really does that. That's my first time being a part of something like that. So, one of my dreams. So I got to see it happen. Very nice, and I was thankful for that to happen.
Okay. Well, they got a lot of pride and tradition over there at South Carolina State, man. They just got it over there like that. So to experience that was great. And like I said, uh, I had a list of guys who were quarterbacks at South Carolina State that had some outstanding careers. The guy was saying that you are only second to in passing yards in the season. Malcolm Long from 2008 to 2010. He had a career of 6,300 yards. But there was a guy who was a former quarterback at South Carolina State, man, that to this day, he still, in my opinion, is probably one of the most phenomenal, electrifying, exciting guys that South Carolina State has ever had to play quarterback. I don't know if you met him. I hope you have. But his name was Marvin the Magician Marshall.
Marvin the Magician Marshall.
Marvin Marshall, yeah.
That's the name right there.
Yeah, Marvin Marshall played 92 to 94. He was all of about maybe 5'9", but he had quick feet. And, with Coach Jeffries running that option the way they did, man, when that thing broke down, man, he took off, man. I literally seen him jump out of the grass of a guy who was about to tackle him around his ankles. I literally seen him just jump out of that guy's grass, land back on his feet, and take off again.
Yeah, that's a dude right there, man.
Yeah.
Do that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So Marvin Marshall, man, is if you go back and ask some of the real Bulldogs who've been around for a while and ask him, say, man, I was talking to this guy and he's telling me about Marvin Marshall. You probably see him light up like, man, Marvin Marshall, that guy was that dude. So yeah, he was quite a phenomenal quarterback back in the days. But like I said, you have now put your name on the list of quarterbacks who have played here at South Carolina State. And I, wish you had one more year to play for the Bulldogs. I think that would probably give you a little bit more, put you more on the passing list. But I mean, for 2,600 yards in one season, man, that's a phenomenal year, man. And then to win a championship and go to the championship, you've had a full year. So again, kudos to you for that, man. And I think you done a phenomenal job in doing what you did in South Carolina. I know it was a tough loss, man. What were some of the things that went through your mind after you played that last game?
Said like, dang, it's really over. Like my last college game.
Yeah.
I hated that it ended that way, but everything happens for a reason,
Right.
I gave my all, I left it all out there.
Sure.
Just didn't get the result we wanted.
Right.
So yeah.
Is that? I mean, because you've experienced this now twice. You did it at the end of your senior year in high school, and now in college. Is that always kind of a sad moment that when it's really finally over? That it's like, okay, that's it.
So like for me, it was not completely over because I still got a bowl game to play, and I know I have a bright future ahead of me. So like I was just saying it's over in terms of like college. Like this chapter of my life is over.
Yeah.
The next chapter is wide open. So I'm like, I know I'm not done playing football. It's just I know I'm done playing college football. That's what I was saying.
Okay. Well, yeah. And of course, there are many opportunities, like I already shared with you. There are also opportunities overseas. We've talked to some guys who've played in Europe, in Mexico, and Japan. So American football is growing up all the way around the world, man. So, if you believe in yourself, I figure that we'll hear about Eric Phoenix somewhere else down the road. And what nickname do they give you, man? Because I know when I saw the name Eric Phoenix, man, only one thing's come to mind. What's your nickname?
I told you I got E7.
E7.
I got Ram Truck. Ram Truck.
Ram Truck. Okay. First thing came to mind when I saw Phoenix, man, was Phoenix Rising. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Phoenix Rising. That mythical bird that rose up out of the ashes.
That's
So
right.
yeah. So yeah, I can understand that. Well, hey Eric, it's been a pleasure, man, having you on the show tonight. We are definitely happy that you gave us an opportunity. As we close out our show tonight, I gotta just say this to you before you get off of here. By you being on the show tonight, by you being on the show tonight, we would like to welcome you to the fraternity of black quarterbacks known as Quarter Five Back, and you are now a lifetime member of this fraternity and brotherhood of black quarterbacks. And we thank you and we welcome you to the brotherhood of black quarterbacks, man. And we'll be getting you your certificate and your letter of induction into this esteemed and prestigious thing that we're doing. And we hope that you can help carry that torch for us going forward to share the word and let everybody know that there's a phenomenal organization that's caring about black quarterbacks at all levels to make sure that your legacies never die. So welcome to the fraternity.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me, and it's a great honor.
You got any shout outs you want to do before we get out of here?
Shout out to my family that's probably watching me right now. My mom,
Okay.
my dad, my
All
aunt,
right. Okay.
grandmother. Shout out. Shout out. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Well, once again, Eric, thank you so very much. We appreciate you, man. We're going to keep up with you. Looking to see you at the Legacy Bowl when you get out there, man, and do well. Stay healthy and continue success in all that you do, man. God bless you.
Thank you.
All right. Eric Phoenix, quarterback for the South Carolina State Bulldogs, 2024 MEAC champion and the 2024 HBCU Plus National Player of the Year. That's who we had on as our guest. And he is now a member of the preeminent fraternity for black quarterbacks, Quarter Five Back. We're so glad and honored to have him as part of what we do here. Well, it's the holiday season, and you know we're going to just keep trugging along and keep pushing forward. So I want to thank my crew because without them, we could not make this happen. And as a matter of fact, we are going to add a new member to our production crew and our Quarter Five Back family. And I'm ecstatic to have him because this says a lot. But we're going to always thank our supporters and our teammate members, Paul McNulty, Dion Irvin Smith. Thank you guys for being with us. I want to give a quick shout out to Taj Smith. Hope he can bounce back from that injury that he's been suffering through and become ready to go in 2025. But we want to thank our crew for making this happen. Our chief photographer, Mr. Will Relaford, our social media director, Mr. Kemal Lazier, my producer and director, Ms. Ronleen Kennedy, always here to make it happen. And our new member coming on board, he will be our senior consultant, and that will be Dr. Will Kitchings. Dr. Will Kitchings. We are so proud to have him come on board, and we're looking forward to having him become a part of our team. So until next Monday, here on the Post Route, we'd just like to say, as always, go deep, go for the bomb. We'll see you next time. Take care.